Hi, welcome to GenRocket tutorials video. In the first video of this series, we explored more about G-families and discovered their key core components. In the second video followed by, we mastered the first of G-family's core components, entity relationship diagram, and key components of an ER diagram. In the third video, we became an expert in the second of G-family's core component, families, and its capabilities. Followed by, in the fourth video, we have explored what is G-cases in G-families and how it helps in automating the building of G-cases to generate the test data specific for the test case need. Now, in this video, get ready for an end-to-end demonstration of G-families. All set, let's get started. Navigate to GenRocket Cloud Portal and create a new test data project. The next step is to create the domains in the project created. GenRocket provides multiple ways to create the domains. We will opt for Import from XTS option from the menu that enables us to import the database extract table schema. For further insights into the XTS and its capabilities within GenRocket, refer to our knowledge base articles. The XTS management wizards and the checklist gives us the navigation and helps us to speed up the process. Now, import a database extract table schema into the GenRocket platform. For our demo purpose, we are importing the bank database GenRocket extract table schema. Once the database table schema is imported successfully, then domain referencing wizard helps us to set up the relationships between the domains and validate it visually. Then step 3, 4 and 5 allows us to set up the other required GenRocket components such as generators, receivers and scenarios. Once these base setup steps are completed, then comes the most awaited part of the series, the step number 6, Domain Family Wizard, connecting us to the G-families world. It's time to buckle up your seat belts. We are all set on a deep dive mission to explore the G-families. The next step in our hand is to discover the new families on our test data project. Click on Find New Families button. GenRocket G-families component in the background scans the domains and its relations created based on the imported bank database extract table schema and identify the families for us. This is one of the G-families core component, families, helps in simplifying the complex data models by categorizing them into smaller related family groups. After the scan, G-families identifies two families. Let's proceed to review and rename each family based on its purpose. The first family helps us to navigate through to the transaction domain and we can see all the dependent domains related to transaction. Hence, we can name this one as transaction family by clicking on the pencil icon. Similarly, the second family enables navigation through to the card product domain and its dependent domains as well. We will rename this family to card product family accordingly. Amazing! Now, let's explore the next core component of G-families, ER diagram. An entity relationship diagram is a visual representation of the relationships between the entities in a database. GenRocket offers two visualization options to view the identified families. The first option, View in GenRocket Domain Mode, provides a visual representation from a GenRocket setup perspective of the relationships between the domains. Whereas the second option, View in Entity Relationship Mode, presents the visual representation in ER diagram mode, illustrating the relationships between the tables in a database. The left side bottom menu enables us to have 4 different options to visualize the diagram for an easier understanding on a selected family. The Hide All option from the menu hides all the attributes and just shows the table or a domain relations for easier reference. The Show All PKS option from the menu shows only the primary keys with the table or a domain relations with each other. Similarly, the Show All PKS and FKS option from the menu shows all the primary and the foreign keys with the table or domain relations. The Show All option from the menu gives the full view of a diagram for a selected family, including table relations, primary and foreign keys with all attributes and its data types. You can switch between the diagram modes to quickly compare and refer between the GenRocket domain and the database tables view. Also, it allows us to download the diagram as an image. Very clear and cleverly crafted. Now, let's analyze the final G-family's core component, G-cases, and explore its magics. Let's take an example of configuring the account test data for a unit test focused on account creation. Closely observe and review the account table. It has got 3 foreign keys referring to 3 different tables. For setting up the test data on the account table, we need to ensure referential integrity by setting up the test data for branch, account level, and account type tables even before the account table. This is where the G cases from G families comes to the rescue, enabling a swift setup of test data cases that generates the data exclusively for the required tables. For our use case, select the identified family transaction and then click on Create G case icon. Then select the category as unit test. Then provide the test data case name. Followed by select the necessary domains such as branch, account level, account type, and account domain. That's it. Click on Save. With just a few clicks, our GCase is ready to generate the test data for account and its dependent tables. Let's go and execute our GCases and see the data generated and inserted into the DB. The screen is split into two command line interface windows. The top window would be used to execute the genrocket command, whereas the bottom window would be used to execute the MySQL command to view the data in the tables. Before we execute the genrocket commands, let's ensure the tables in the bank database is clear. Now, let's execute the G cases created from G families using the genrocket commands and see how the data is populated into DB. To know more about GCases options and its commands, please visit our knowledge base articles. As you can see in the top window, the genrocket command is executed and the data generation is successful. Now, let's go to the DB and validate the data generated. Amazing! Our test data is ready in just few clicks. Also, you can see the referential integrity is maintained between the tables. We have clearly witnessed the power of G families. Let's proceed to the next use case, configuring transaction test data for an integration test focused on transaction processing functionality. So let's pick up the transaction family to observe the transaction table closely. It has got 3 foreign keys referring to 3 different tables. Within those 3 tables, as we have previously noted, the account table also contains 3 foreign keys pointing to 3 different tables. This implies to set up the proper and right transaction test data, we should populate data in for all the other related tables as well. Looks like a time-consuming activity, but with G cases in G families, it becomes super easy. So, all we need to do is select the identified transaction family, click on Create G case icon, and then select the category. Then provide a test data case name, and then select the required domains. In our scenario, we need all the domains related to transaction. Before we click on save, let's aim to create 5 transactions per account. So update the loop count as 5 on the transaction domain. Otherwise, the default loop count is going to be 1. That's it. Click on save to see the real magics. As promised, with only a few clicks, we have created a G case that generates test data for the integration test on transaction processing. Let's go back to the command line interface tool for the execution. Before we execute the genrocket commands, let's ensure the tables in the bank database is clear. Now, let's execute the G cases created from G families using the genrocket commands and see how the data is populated into DB. As you can see in the top window, the genrocket command is executed and the data generation is successful. Now, let's go to the DB and validate the data generated. Amazing! Our test data is ready in just few clicks. Wow! As you can see, 5 transactions are generated for an account by maintaining all the referential integrity throughout. For deeper insights on the seamless integration of these G cases into CI/CD pipeline or any other automation tools, we invite you to explore the integration collection in our knowledge base articles. Let's do a quick recap. We have covered an extensive end-to-end demo on G families, starting with the test data project creation and import XTS and wizard flows, followed by finding new families from the domain relations and then exploring the relations in entity relationship diagram mode and genrocket domain mode. Furthermore, we explored how G cases in G families with just a few clicks helps in automating the test data cases setup with examples on unit and integration test scenarios. And then followed by, we have seen the data generation using G cases from the command line and validate the data in database along with few reference articles displayed for integration and G cases. Great learnings! With this profound knowledge gain, we shall wrap up our learnings from the G families video series. Thank you for watching this genrocket tutorial video.